Hey guys, Brian from WorkshopAddict.com in Milwaukee just came out with a new M18 FUEL 4.5 to 6-inch braking angle grinder. This model is one that we got in a kit, model number 2980-21. This is the paddle switch on the bottom. They also make a slide on and lock switch. So if you wanted that model, it's also out there. This kit came with the 6.0 amp hour high output battery, a charger, in a bag. Now I know in the past, the other FUEL model did come in a case. I'm not sure if this one comes in a case in another model or not, but that's something to check out if you do want the plastic case. On the box, Milwaukee states this gives you the same power as a 13 amp grinder corded. It's interesting to take it out and really push into it and see what you get. And it does, when you have a full charge or down to a quarter, it gives you a lot of power, gives you everything you want when you're pushing on it and leaning on it, if that's what you have to do to get through your material. We did it more just for testing here. Sometimes we're pushing and that's just not how you really should use this, but we're trying to find the situations where we'll get a cutout. I will tell you, we did get multiple cutouts, and the only time we really got them is when we got down to 1 bar or 25% less on the battery. There was or is a difference in power once you get there. And you notice it probably more in this tool than you might in others, but it is what it is. When this guy is 25% or higher, you've got a lot of power, a lot of usable grinding here, and it rocks. So first, a couple things they've changed from the old model, and I want to just throw it out there. This is the 4.5 inch model. It looks the same, just quite a bit larger, and they still have the 5/8 inch arbor on the bottom, and you have your little tab, so it's tool free. Now what they've changed is they sent along a tool. There was no tool for the old 4.5 inch. This tool, similar to just about any other tool out there, it allows you to get your arbor off, or the nut off, without issues if you ever get in that situation. I found a couple times where this is tightened up a little bit and I couldn't get it with my hand or the gloves. I just grabbed a crescent wrench, put it on here, and twisted it off. That was my solution. I don't know that I'd really need the tool with this, but it was a nice thought to throw in there for someone who might be on the job site, not have a lot of stuff around, and have that stuck on there with a really small disc and it tightening up enough that you couldn't get that off. Other than that, it looks like they just took these two, mimicked the same grip, the same size, and went a little bit larger. You still do have your dust ports on the back behind the handle, and you can take this off, blow it out, do whatever you need to do with it, slap it back on. There's an extra one that comes in the bag. This model does have 9,000 no load RPM, so she is kicking around and doing quite well. And if we were to compare this to some of the corded brushless grinders that we have in the shop, it's fairly close. And if you want to compare it to the DeWalt FlexVolt, it is pretty much on par. Now, it does like batteries. Like any tool out there that's large, high capacity, high power, it will chew through some batteries. So if you have a grinding project that you're really going at it on, or if you have something where you're doing a lot of cuts consecutively, you will go through some batteries. I didn't time anything out because I was doing multiple different tasks while I was going through this. We did a test maybe 2 years ago with standard grinders. We did the DeWalt FlexVolt, the Milwaukee, I think we did a Hitachi and a couple other ones. They all were around 3 minutes, 30 seconds worth of battery time. Now batteries have exploded in amp hour since then. I'm still gonna guess with this higher unit, you're gonna get around 5 to 6 minutes of pure grinding if you're just pushing it on heavy material. If it's something that you're doing lighter cutting, I think it would be a lot easier on it, and you're not gonna just sit and chew through batteries. But this is definitely something that if you're working hard, you still wanna get back to that corded grinder, or you wanna have multiple batteries with you just so you can get through some of those jobs that might require a little bit more time grinding or cutting. The handle on this can go in 2 spots, right or left. It is an anti-vibration handle and it works very well. Paddle trigger on the bottom, simple with a safety that you just pull up with your finger and then pull the paddle in, easy to hold in place. The guard on it is exactly the same as the old model, just a little bit larger, and it's easy to put on and take off. All you have to do to change the position is lift up on the tab in front and it will easily slide around to any position, basically from about 75 to 75 each way. Easy to use, easy to put back in place. Nice guard. If you want to remove it, it can be flipped all the way around backwards and come right out. That way you can switch over to something different. It is pretty much the same as the old 4.5. So if you wanted to switch these between the two, you could. Everything else on here is the exact same quality you would expect from the Milwaukee M18 FUEL systems. I really like having a little bit larger grinding wheel or cutting wheel to get into different situations. We don't have a car project right now where we would be cutting anything off or I'd have this guy in there. I think it's perfect to get into something, have it be cordless, have it have the power, and this is definitely a must buy if you're into grinders out there and want to get away from that cord, but still earn for that power, but also note that it's a high power sucking tool per se, and it's going to go through some batteries. So maybe get the 2 battery kit or make sure you have a couple other ones with you. Now, everyone's gonna ask, did you test it with a 5 amp hour battery? No, I didn't, guys, and don't, because you're just simply not gonna have the power and you're going to have a lot less runtime, and it's gonna make something like this a little bit, well, it's gonna be pointless to a point. I mean, yeah, if you need to get by for a little bit, you can do it. You're gonna drop down in power, you're gonna severely drop down in runtime, and you're gonna heat up those 5 amp hour batteries. Did I notice a difference between the 6 and the 12? Not a whole lot. Nothing that I would sit there and be like, you gotta run this in a 12. It's nothing to brag about between the difference between the two. Pretty consistent power the whole way through. Definitely like it. Check it out. I'll put more information in the description if you want some more specs that might have been on the box, but you got my feelings from it, from using it outside. As always, we appreciate your time. Give us a like in this video, subscribe to the channel. Have a great day.